Hello, everyone. I'm Stephanie Jordan. I'm the local food program manager here at Sustainable Solano, and I want to welcome all of you to our first Bounty of the County presentation. We are super excited to have all of you guys here with us this afternoon. As many of you know, Bounty of the County is a celebration of our local farms, our independent restaurants, food, and our wineries that are based here in Solano County, California. And the event is going to run for about 6 weeks from now until October 10. And each week we are featuring a different trio composed of a farm, a restaurant or food producer, and a winery. So just to give you a little background, over the last few years, Sustainable Solano has been working to build a more robust local food system in Solano County, which is, more resilient, more equitable, and also will help to build the local economy. And so to that end, we have decided to create Bounty of the County to raise public awareness of Solano-based farms and specifically some of the specialty crops that they grow, as well as independent restaurants who buy from those farmers and our local wineries. So the farms participating in Bounty of the County this year do grow specialty crops, which are vegetables, fruits, tree nuts, and culinary herbs. There's also some nursery products thrown in there, but we are focusing on the edible items, which we all love to eat. So we are also using Bounty of the County right now to raise funds for farmers who were hit pretty hard and very fast by some wildfires that broke out exactly 2 weeks ago today. And so it has been a crazy 2 weeks. It has also been an amazing 2 weeks, seeing how the community has stepped up and been really willing and wanting to help those in need. So 100% of all the tax deductible donations which we receive in the month of September will get channeled specifically to our farmers, ranchers, and wine growers in Solano County who experienced loss and damage from the fires. So to make a donation to this fund, you can go to sustainablesolano.org. I've got Allison in the background posting some things up in the chat, so you might want to keep your eye on that for relevant links as we get through our presentation today. And also keep an eye out. A lot of the participating Bounty of the County wineries and restaurants are running some specials to help with those fire relief efforts. So we really hope that you'll get out there and purchase goods from these businesses and help support both the local businesses that are part of that local food system, as well as our local farmers who really could use some support right now. And again, more details on this are on our website, sustainablesolano.org. All right, before I introduce our featured trio, I have a couple of Zoom housekeeping items for all of you. As you know, you all came in on mute, audience members, and you won't really be able to unmute yourself until the end. But we will unmute you for the question and answer session toward the end of the presentation. And so during the presentation, if you do have questions, you can present them in two different ways. One is you can hold on to your question and use the raise hand function at the end, in which case you can speak directly to the person that you are asking the question to. Another option is you can post your question in the chat, and then we will read those back at the end. Allison is also available kind of on the back end there. If you want to send a question privately to Allison, you're welcome to do that, and then she will round up all those questions and send them over to me at the conclusion. All right, so now I want to introduce this week's guests. I have two amazing women with me today. Our featured farm and winery, she's wearing two hats today, is represented by Lisa Howard. There she is. Lisa's parents are Steve and Linda Tenbrink, who own and operate Tenbrink Farms. And Lisa and her husband Cliff are also owners of Tolenas Winery. So we'll be circling back with her toward the end to learn more about their delicious wines. Then we have Amy Grabish, who is owner of the Pip Wine Bar Shop, which is located in Dixon. And she'll be talking about her package, which is available for purchase, where she is using some products from Tenbrink Farm, and she's also including some Tolenas wines into her package as well. So I'm going to go to Lisa first, and Lisa's going to put on her Tenbrink hat. So Lisa,
an actual Tenbrink hat.
That would be fun, right? So you probably grew up on or around Tenbrink Farm, and so I wonder if you could talk to us a little bit about those childhood memories on the farm, and then what's growing and how is it operating today?
Sure. So Tenbrink Farms has been in Sassoon Valley since about 1984. My parents bought the property actually just a little bit after I was born. The fun story is that my parents are first generation farmers. My parents grew up in the Bay Area, and my dad would always drive up to Lake Berryessa to go bass fishing. And on his travels up there, he would tell my mom, one day I'm going to live in Sassoon Valley and I'm going to be a farmer. And she'd say, yeah, okay, you're great. That's never going to happen in our life. And he was persistent, and it was his dream. And it really worked out. They drove up through that area one year, and there was a small dilapidated 4-acre parcel that eventually became our home and our first orchard. And they bought it and ended up being quite the duo. My dad is a talented farmer. He started out growing just cherries and peaches and some small row crops. And my mom quickly became the businesswoman. My memory is her having a folding table out in front of our home, just off Rockville Road. And my siblings were there playing in the yard, and she was selling our peaches and cherries just to whoever might drive down to Fruit Growers, which is at the end of the road where other farmers would get their products. And we grew up sorting the fruit. Sorting cherries was a big part of my memory. We would send them to the pack house to be sold to larger, stands. And in about 1980, I guess only about few months after we bought the ranch, my mom bought a Pioneer fruit stand, which is on Sassoon Valley Road. So we grew up within the fruit stand there on Sassoon Valley Road. We owned that for about 16 years. So even the bus would drop me off in front of the fruit stand after school at Sassoon Valley School. And we went on from the fruit stand to selling at farmers markets in Napa, El Cerrito, St. Helena, Yountville. And then the chefs really started noticing our products and loving our products. So after that long, about 7-8 years selling at farmers markets, the chefs said, we'd really like to just buy from you direct, if that would be okay. Would you start a delivery route to our restaurants? So the past about 10 years now, we've been selling direct to chefs. Locally, you can find them at Backdoor Bistro, Mankus Corner, but more prevalent in San Francisco and Napa, Michael Mina restaurants, RN74, Fume, Don Giovanni's. Any high-end restaurant in San Francisco and Napa, you're probably going to see Tenbrink produce on the list. The only complaint we get is that the locals have a hard time getting our produce. So we thought, what a perfect opportunity for the bounty of the county to offer the local produce to the local people. And so Amy so graciously partnered with us, and she is going to have some of our products available for order in her store.
Awesome. So a little more about the farm. It's like beyond organic, you were saying, or partially organic? Can you talk more about how it's managed, the crops, the land?
Yes, totally. So they started with 4 acres. They now farm over 100, and it's still just my dad and my brother and a couple guys that work for him. It's quite an undertaking. They're diversified between walnuts, wine grapes, and then peaches, apricots, apriums, pluots, nectar plums, and then tomatoes, peppers, fully diversified, but their approach in growing in general is, I love to call, beyond organic. So what the heck does that mean, right? So they're not certified organic. And the reason is my dad has a very strong conviction that the use of dormant sprays, so these are sprays that only go on the trees when they are completely dormant. There's no leaves, there's no product, anything on the tree. You can apply 1 to 2 dormant sprays that kill the larvae of the insects. It's also extremely bee friendly, so you can spray when the bees are not out foraging. You will not have to spray anything, not even organic material, which still can be toxic during the growing season. So he sprays a couple dormant sprays in the off season, and then he uses pheromone disruption in the on season. So what pheromone disruption is, are these little packets of pheromones, which are like the perfume that the female insect puts out to attract the male. And they're all spread out the whole orchard. And the males can never find the females because they think the females are everywhere. So they're just running around, flying around, trying to find a female, and they can't find one because they think they're everywhere. So we don't have to spray our trees at all. So the products that Amy is going to have in her shop have never been sprayed with anything.
Gotcha. Well, that's really interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned, lots of different kinds of fruit and vegetables, and I also think I read that you have, I don't know, like a gazillion different kinds of tomatoes.
Yes,
speak about some of those, and what do some of the restaurants, I mean, I imagine some are made into fantastic sauces, others are used, in different ways. Why all the tomatoes?
Why all the tomatoes? So chefs love color, right? They love color and variation because we as their consumers love those beautiful green and yellow and purple and red tomatoes on our platters. So we started out growing literally hundreds of varieties of tomatoes for the tomato festival in downtown Fairfield. We have since we no longer do that part of it, but we've pared it down to maybe, I think we have like 40 or so different varieties, maybe more than that now that I say that, but all different sizes, all different textures, all different shapes.
Did we lose Lisa?
Oh no, did you?
No,
I'm here.
Lisa, we can hear Lisa.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'll keep talking. Maybe we lost Allison. No?
I'm here, and
Stephanie?
I can hear you, Lisa. So please continue.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay. And so we just grow a lot of different tomatoes, just really to allow for a lot of different color, shape, size, and then also diversity in the field helps with pest control. So the pests, if you grow the same type of crop over and over and over again, and specific varieties over and over again, the pests tend to grow and magnify in that area. So we like to grow lots of different varieties for that reason. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Sorry, I lost you there for a second. I don't know if that was me or you or who. Okay. But we're back now, so that's great. So now tell us what Tenbrink is selling to Amy, and then we will switch over to Amy at the Pip, and she can talk more about her package.
Sure. So historically, like I said before, the fresh produce hasn't really been available to the local consumer, just mostly high-end restaurants. But we thought this would be a great opportunity. Here and there, we've allowed consumers, customers to buy at our winery if we've been open for tastings, and we've come up with this cute little box. I think Amy will probably show you that has very hand-selected, perfect pieces of fruit for you, just enough to get you through the week. Because our produce is picked very ripe and very fresh, so you want to eat it soon. This is not a grocery store type of fruit, so enjoy it and then restock.
Okay, thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome.
Yeah, oh, I see. Yes, I did freeze. Hopefully I'm back now.
You're back.
So I'm back. All right, so Amy Grabish at the Pip, let's move over to you. I think you're unmuted. Yep. So tell us about the Pip Wine Bar and Shop. It's relatively new, correct? Tell us why you decided to start it.
Well, I've been in the wine industry my entire my entire career pretty much. And my husband and I live in Dixon. I was selling wine to restaurants and wine shops in the Sacramento region. So between seeing growth and development in Solano County, in Dixon specifically because we live here, but also being stuck in traffic so often, I wanted to get off the road a little bit. And it just seemed like I was the right person. Dixon was the right place. And it was, I mean, funnily enough, it was the right time. So we opened, our opening day was March 4th. And then we were asked to close on March 15th. And so we've been operating just as a retail store since then. We were able to open up for 2 weeks in June. But then once things changed again, we had to close. And I am thinking that bars are not going to be open back up again for like in-bar drinking anytime soon. So we're just trying to pivot, be creative, and reach our customers in a different way. So it's all about the retail, and part of participating in the Sustainable Solano program is a creative, incredible way for us to keep on growing and keep on moving.
Right. And so I know that you are out doing deliveries, and people can also come and pick up. So it's not like you're not closed. People can come and access your goodies anytime. Can you tell us your exact address, just so people know, those that are in Vacaville and Dixon know where to find you? And then tell us more about your Bounty of the County package that you're putting together.
Sure. We're at 116 North 1st Street in downtown Dixon. So we're on the main drag, which is State Highway 113. We are just a couple stores off of the main intersection of A Street and 1st Street. So we're next to Almond Tree Mortgage and Uptown Collective. So we're right in between there. Our picnic board that we're offering for the Bounty of the County is comprised of 2 charcuteries, or so 2 charcuterie meats, 2 cheeses. We usually include mustard, some cornichons, some mixed nuts in our charcuterie plate. So they will be included in that. And then we are also making a mixed peach jam. So it's going to be a spiked peach jam. Peaches are from Tenbrink Farm. I started processing the jam this morning. The colors from the peaches are fabulous. They are so beautiful. The collection of peaches that I got from Tenbrink includes some white peaches, some blood peaches, and some traditional peach peaches. So the mix of those colors that are going to be in the jam is going to make for one beautiful jar of jam, and that's going to come along with the charcuterie and cheese board. So our overall package is a charcuterie and cheese board that includes the jam, and this is 4 ounces of, this is the jam jar. I had to order them special from an online store because there's a shortage of canning jars like all over Dixon. I haven't gone to the inner most depths of Sacramento to look for canning jars. So I'm a little bit behind on my jam making, but it is processing today and I'm going to jar it tomorrow. So it'll be ready for pickup in any of the packages that get delivered on Saturday. Part of our package is also the Tenbrink Farms, oops, sorry, got to bring this into view. Gorgeous fruit, super tasty, and like Lisa said, all organically farmed. It's all local. When I went down to the Tenbrink Farm to pick up the peaches and our fruit box, and pick up the Tolenas wines. So we've got the Tolenas wines in here. I think I met everybody who's a member of the Tenbrink family. So I went in and I met Linda and Laura. So Lisa's mom and sister. And then on my drive out, I passed Lisa. And then we created a roadblock. We had to move to let her dad drive by. I met her brother, and then I ran into Cliff. So I met everyone who's part of the business and the family when I went down to pick up the peaches and the wine. And I love that kind of stuff. So you really are dealing with a complete family business operation. And it's awesome to be part of it and to create a whole package that includes everything. So we have the package available on the Pip Wine Shop website. It's my online store. So you can purchase just the picnic board. You can also have the option to add on the Tenbrink fruit box, and you can also add on the Tolenas wines. And we've got 4 different Tolenas wines that are available. But since we're a wine shop, we also have the wines. You can buy the wines just on their own. So that is our offering for the bounty of the county.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. So I know that there's a little bit of a procedure here. Can you just tell us I think there's a cutoff day for sales, and then when you're going to be doing deliveries of the picnic box? You can just give us the overview of that. That would be awesome. And then we'll move on over back to Lisa to learn more about the wines.
Right. So I have just enough for if a customer wants to come in and pick up the charcuterie board. We're open as a retail shop from Tuesday through Saturday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. But if you would prefer delivery, and a majority of our customers are preferring delivery at this point, we ask that your order be in by Thursday night at midnight. And that way I can work with Linda down at Tenbrink and Lisa to make sure that we've got all of the inventory lined up, and then deliveries will be on Saturday morning. So if you can, order by Thursday night midnight for a Saturday morning delivery.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And I believe that Allison has posted in the chat some links to the Pip Wine Bar and how you can purchase. So you all can take a look at that when we're done. And yeah, just a reminder, I went on there really quick and noticed all of the fantastic wine options from Tolenas that you could choose to go with your picnic box. And so I'm gonna turn this back over to Lisa, who can tell us more about Tolenas and how her and her husband Cliff started it. So back over to you, Lisa.
Thanks, Stephanie. And you guys, I want to first off just say that we're super excited to have Amy and a lovely wine shop in Dixon. You guys are really lucky to have someone like her. She's extremely knowledgeable about wine. Take advantage of that. If you need advice on food pairing or a dinner party or something like you have like that, she will help you, and she has a huge selection of wines, both local and outside the area. But if you have anything that you're just not sure about, she will help you out. And yeah, let's talk about some Tolenas wines. So she has 4 of our wines, which are the only 4 we have in stock right now. So she has all of our wines. We have 1 red wine, and I'm going to start with that just because it's the 1 red wine we have. So it's kind of probably a little hard to see on the screen, but this is our 2017 Sassoon Valley Red Blend. All of our wine is made 100% from local Sassoon Valley wine. This red blend is mostly Petite Syrah, which Sassoon Valley is really known for. And then it has a splash of Cabernet for some finesse, a little bit of Zinfandel for fruit, and then a little bit of Tempranillo because my dad grows Tempranillo and I love it and I wanted it in the blend, and it really brought everything together. So my dad grows a majority of the fruit that is in this bottle, and my husband and I make it, sell it. We do everything just between our families. So, Stephanie asked, what's Tolenas? How did this get started? Why did we start making wine? Why am I just not growing peaches and selling fruit with my parents? So a quick funny story about that is, I had a lot of really lovely memories growing up on a farm with my family. I can't imagine growing up any other way, but it's hard. It's really hard to farm. And as the years went on and I got older, I swore to myself that I would not be in farming. I said, it's just too hard. I watched my family fight about the weather, for goodness sake. You never know about income, and you never know about anything that's going to happen. I mean, look at 2020. I swear 2020 is like a farmer's every year. Like, if y'all think 2020 is crazy, that's just their year is all the time. And so I was like, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get a regular job with, stable paycheck and insurance. So I actually left Sassoon Valley, studied engineering at Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, and moved to Arizona. Was like, I have to move far enough away so they don't recruit me back to work on the farm in the summer. So I moved to Arizona and worked as an engineer and met my lovely husband, Cliff. And after we were married and had our first son, I spotted Cliff on the computer looking at real estate in Sassoon Valley. I said, what are you doing? And he's like, girl, you are a farmer and you are trying to pretend to be something else. We are moving back to Sassoon Valley and we are going to have the life that we are supposed to have there. And I thought, no, I'm not going back. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know how hard it is. And he won, and he was right. This is where we're supposed to be. And we had 2 more lovely children and literally repeated my parents' story of buying a broke down farmhouse, having to rebuild it with a dilapidated orchard that we ended up having to tear out, and then planting a vineyard. And all during that time, my dad took us under his wing and taught us how to make wine. So it's truly become our passion. Cliff still has had to work until very recently outside of the family business to help fund this crazy project. But we are now looking forward to a time where he gets to spend more time with us and making wine. And we are in the middle of crush and harvest. So we are making our 2020 vintage as we speak. He was just outside working on some grapes before we got on this call. So Tolenas is our passion, and we make the wine side by side with my family. My dad and my brother grow most of the grapes. Some grapes are grown on Cliff and I's property as well. And we do buy a little bit of a handful of, like our Sauvignon Blanc, for example, we do buy that from the Lanza family, which is a local Sassoon Valley family, because we don't grow any Sauvignon Blanc ourselves. And their Sauvignon Blanc grapes are fantastic. So one of the other wines that Amy's going to have is our 100% stainless steel Sauvignon Blanc, cold fermented, very aromatic, has a lot of peach notes. It's a full-bodied Sauvignon Blanc. It's more in that ripe fruit style, not like mineral light grassy. You can tell I grew up on a peach orchard when you drink this wine. Because clearly I like those flavors. So that's what you're going to taste when you try this Sauvignon Blanc. The next one is our 2019 rosé. This rosé is a perfect summer wine. It has a hint of sweetness, so it's very easy to drink. And it's very fruity also. This has more of like the watermelon, strawberry type notes that you might get when you drink this wine. This is a base of Petite Syrah, actually, rosé. So mostly the Saunier of a Petite Syrah fermentation. So we use the runoff of the Petite Syrah to make this, and it's a pretty big seller. We will probably sell out of this in the next couple months. The last wine I want to share with you is probably our most famous, most popular, and best story wine. This is our white Pinot Noir. So it is a true Pinot Noir grape, which is a red wine grape, and we make it into a white wine. It doesn't have any rosé color. It's translucent, more like a Chardonnay type color, a very light white wine. We just started making this back in 2015 during the All-American Eclipse. My dad was harvesting this vineyard for the Biltmore Estate in North Carolina, who buys his grapes. And I said, did you know that today is, or the day that we're picking is going to be the All-American Eclipse? And he's like, no, what does that have to do with picking grapes? I'm like, well, it's special. It's great. We have to do something special. And he's like, okay, well, what do you want to do? We've made Pinot Noir before. It turns out lovely. Is that what you want to do? I said, no, I want to make a white wine out of these red grapes. And he said, okay, well, have you ever had that before? No, but I have a feeling it's going to be good. So we picked the grapes, we put them in the press immediately. We pressed them very, very gently, about half the pressure that they use for typical white wine press, so that we would get little to no extraction of color from the skins. And then we fermented it. We only made about 60 gallons that time, and we sold out in about 3 months. We're now in the 2019 vintage. We've continued to grow this label. Last year, we were awarded a 91-point score for the International Women's Wine Competition. It's become a favorite. A lot of red wine drinkers that say they don't drink white wine, they taste this and they say, oh, I can drink this. So I hope y'all give this a try, and Amy will have all 4 of these wines at the Pip Wine Bar.
Cool. Thank you for that rundown, Lisa. That was awesome. So you were talking about, you know, the craziness that happens on a farm, and I've heard from some winemakers that this year's harvest is crazy early. I imagine from that heat wave, and then you're adding to the fires. I mean, how are you guys dealing with all of that?
Yeah, this is the earliest season on record for us. We have never picked our Pinot Noir so early, so that's a little wild for us. But ironically, the numbers are wonderful, so still hoping for a really good vintage. But so first it was a heat wave that made all the grapes ripen at an insane rate. And so we had to get ready to pick when we were not ready. And then the fire. So we were evacuated from our homes. The fire got about 3/4 of a mile from my parents' property in Gordon Valley. So we were evacuated to the winery. So that's not so bad. We loaded up our trailers and we stayed at the winery. Our biggest fear now is there is, a chance that excessive smoke in the air can affect the wine grapes and the flavors, and it can pick up smoke characteristics. They call it smoke taint. So far, so good. Everything we've brought in so far has been okay. The hard part is it doesn't always show its ugly head until past fermentation. So we're still hoping that things go well for us. We hope that since there wasn't a lot of ash falling on the grapes, that we'll pay and skate by this kind of ugly time. But yes, it's wild. We are halfway through harvest, and normally we do not pick majority of our grapes until late September. It's pretty crazy.
Wow. Okay, all the more reason to go buy the wines that you do have so that we can all taste them and learn more about them and pair them with our favorite foods. So great. Yeah. I want to pull Amy. I don't know if you mentioned this or if I missed it when I froze there for a minute, but I just wanted to have you guys mention quickly the promotions that you are doing, which will help go toward that fire relief. So Amy, I'm going to circle back to you really quick, and then we'll jump back over to Lisa.
So through the whole extended time of the Bounty of the County program, we're going to donate $2 for each picnic box that we sell.
Great. Perfect.
Yeah, and go ahead, Lisa. I think you have something on your end as well.
Sure. Yeah, we're going to be open for reservation this Saturday. We're not usually open all the time, and especially not during harvest, so we say why not. So come out and see us this Saturday. You can book a reservation on our website, tolenaswinery.com. And 10% of all of our sales on Saturday will go towards the fire relief fund. Good and bad news, we did have about 4 of our very loyal wine club members lose their home during the fire, 4 different families, and we are offering everyone that's in our wine club that was strongly affected by the fire free wine club for a year. So pass that along if they don't have the memo on that yet.
Okay, free wine club membership for a year if you were affected by the fires. Did I get that right? Okay. Is that
yes? If you lost your home in the fire.
If you lost your home in the fires, you get a free wine club membership for a year from Tolenas. That's really generous and awesome of you guys. All right, so before we move on to audience questions, I do want to mention one other thing that you're doing, Lisa, which is you are going to help host the Ag and Art Film Festival, which is organized by Lisa Murray. I see Lisa's on this, the other Lisa Murray's on this call with us. So here's another chance and opportunity for people to taste your wines, because I'm hoping that if I show up to see a film, I get to drink some wine, right?
Yes, you do.
So yeah, you want to tell us about that?
Yes. Is Lisa Murray going to talk about it, or me? Is that me? I can talk about it.
It's you, Lisa Howard. Go for it.
Okay, all right. Yes, so we are hosting one of Lisa Murray's Ag and Art Film Festival showings. And I believe that she's organizing the ticket sales for that, which will include catering of some kind, and then there will be wine by the glass and by the bottle here in where we have our tasting area, which is behind our winery house, but on the winery property off Rockville Road. It's Chadbourne Road is the address, but it's just off Rockville Road near the roundabout in Sassoon Valley.
Okay, cool. So lots of opportunities, people. Get out there and eat food and taste wine. Pick up a picnic box from Amy at the Pip, take it to the film and hang out and eat yummy cheese and meat and cornichons and drink good wine. So, you know, as long as the air clears and we can all do this, it's going to be a good month. So,
yes.
All right. Let's see. I think let's go ahead and open it up to our audience for questions. So again, if you want to use the raise hand button, please do so, and we can connect you directly with our guests. And I see I have a raised hand. All right, Allison, I might need your help here. I see a raised hand. What do I do?
I will unmute Joey. 1 second. It'll take a second to unmute you.
Okay.
And in the meantime, I have posted a link to our survey. So when folks are done with the Q&A, if they can take a chance to fill that out real quick, that would help us out. But Joey's unmuted.
Okay, thanks. Well, you were mentioning the Film Fest, which I saw, I think I was on the Sustainable Solano website earlier today, and I saw that, but it didn't, the website doesn't have any dates yet, I don't think, or places. So I was asking more about that. Is there a specific date all of this is happening, or dates?
Well, we could get Lisa Murray on here. I know.
One
you
second.
Should unmute her.
I will unmute Lisa.
Let's unmute Lisa Murray. She can talk about that. Why not?
Awesome.
All right, Lisa.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Hi. I'm actually out at the land right now. Can you hear me? Is this a good connection?
Yeah.
Oh, good. The dates for when we're going to be at Tolenas are going to be a week from today, actually, and tomorrow. So Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm feverishly working on posting the schedule tonight, and so that the tickets will go on sale. So it's going to be at a bunch of different places, and we're still finalizing the locations. But it's going to be like in Davis, possibly a location in Winters, one place in Vacaville. All of our locations burned, so that's why we're having to change locations right now. That's why it's a late notice. But Tolenas will be the first place we go. I'm very excited to be there because she has a great location and great wine, and I'm just excited that she wants to be a part of it. So, yeah.
You know, I'm thinking maybe Allison, you could maybe post the link to Ag and Art Film Festival.
Just post it.
Okay, they do have, they have their own site, and as Lisa mentioned, she's like scrambling, trying to get some new locations lined up because the other ones,
I'll check back. Did you inquire about Andrews Park? Because they did a film there, that wonderful film, The Big Little Farm or something. Yeah, there. I think it was last year, and that was wonderful. And it turned out really well. I'm just curious if one of the back of the location would be there.
Oh, I think Lisa
Oh,
needs to
okay.
be unmuted.
That was actually, can you hear me? Oh yeah, that was actually me. I organized that with the city.
Oh,
of
that was awesome. I loved that.
Thank you. I know it was so fun, and we
It
were looking forward to
was.
doing it again this year.
And
But
I don't even know why they don't do that more often, you know, as a city.
I know
It'd be a
they just
wonderful-
needed someone to kind of be the catalyst, and so
Yeah.
we actually, as part of the film festival, I wanted to offer that film for free for the community, so anybody could come to that screening. It was the one screening we did like that last year, and I get so much positive feedback on it. It really worked out. But with COVID, we can't meet in big groups, especially not in the city.
Yes.
So I'm having to do small groups, socially distanced. So that's why the tickets it's very, very complex matrix grid. And changing all the locations last minute is just it's a challenge, but it's working out because so many people have been so generous and offered their locations, and it's been exciting. It's just a matter of me figuring out which ones are going to work for what we're trying to do.
Great. I'll check back with the website, I guess, tomorrow. You're going to work feverishly.
Yeah, it'll be tonight because I already got a bunch of caffeine in my system, and so I'm ready to do this tonight.
Awesome. Well, I'll check back then.
Thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed watching this whole thing with Lisa and the Pip. I'm excited.
Good.
What are the hours for Pip? Because I actually live in Dixon. It's in Dixon, right?
Yeah, Amy, do you want to go ahead and recap your hours again?
Yep, I'm here Tuesday through Saturday, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then I see a question about making reservations for Tolena's Swinery on Saturday. How do they do that, Lisa? Someone's saying they don't see a way to reserve a time on the website. So advice there?
Okay, yeah, I was just jumping on our website here while we were here to make sure that it was up there. They should go to tolenaswinery.com and then reservations. Nope, it's not up there. They're not doing anything wrong. It's just not posted yet. So right when I get off this call, I'll make sure the link is active for Saturday. There'll be 2 blocks of reservations that you can choose from. It's a table. It's a private table. We need to do that for, COVID restrictions, and you can have up to 4 people at the table. Whomever you arrive with in your group, you're allowed to be seated with. And there is a small deposit that you pay, but it's applied towards the wine that you purchased that day. But the link will be up as soon as this call's over.
Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. All right. Allison, I don't know. Are there more questions in the chat? I'm not seeing any message come through, so I may need your help there.
Yeah, there were just 2 questions that had come up during the conversation, and one was about whether people could purchase peaches directly from Tenbrink, and obviously you can get the fruit box as the add-on with the Pips offering. But yeah, that question, and then there was just a question about just how to best participate in Bounty of the County. And I will mention again that our website, we are trying to update it as soon as we have links. So if you're looking for relevant links, that's probably going to be the easiest way, is the Bounty of the County webpage.
Yeah, there are a few, as I mentioned earlier, there are a few, couple farms and some wineries who are running some promotional specials. So if you're interested in, buying something and supporting a local business and then having some proceeds from that purchase go toward the Fire Relief Fund, we are trying to consolidate all of that information onto the Bounty of the County page on our website. So take a look at that. You can find it. Once you get to sustainablesolano.org, then you can, it's probably actually on our homepage. There's a link right off the bat. So shouldn't be too hard to find, but if you have any questions or issues, feel free to reach out to us. We've got, email addresses on the website too. So, all right. Anything else? Any other questions from our audience? Scanning our chat thing here. Okay, I don't think so. All right. So
I want to know who's drinking wine with us on this call.
Yeah, we were. I think we should figure out how to get wine to people before the calls, and then we should all like have a toast at the end, right? I think that would be a fantastic idea. Great. Okay, so if nobody has any other questions, I don't see any other hands being raised. I'm trying to navigate through all of this Zoom stuff here. Wait, what is this chat?
There are no other questions.
No other questions. Okay, good. So I'm just going to send out a big giant thank you to Lisa and Amy for joining us today. It was fantastic having you guys with us. And thank you to our audience as well for joining us. It was great having all of you. We look forward to having all of you and more at next week's Bounty of the County presentation. And for that one, we will have Chef Michael Waring of Michael Waring Restaurant in Vallejo, along with Mike and Courtney Wilkinson with Wilkinson Acres. And then our winery of the week is Sassoon Creek Winery. And so details on that trio, as well as registration and the donation button, again, is found on the Sustainable Solano website. So thank you again, everyone. It was great having you, and hope to see you all again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you.